What up, it's Casey? It's been a while, but got an update, and it's gonna be pretty self-evident from the title, so I will just get into it. Um, Hopefully the sound and the video quality sound good. I got a new laptop finally for the first time in like over 13 years, and I'm just figuring shit out still, so bear with me. Um, yeah, so as the title probably says, I have recently decided to stop taking testosterone. And so I want to make a video talking about that. This is something I've discussed earlier in past videos. I never planned on staying on testosterone forever. This was always planned to like eventually stop, and so I've basically reached that point for me. I started testosterone on July 22nd in 2015, and I stopped it exactly 8 years later, July 22nd of 2023. And I'd been thinking about stopping it for a little while, and then the dates just kind of meshed up nicely, and I thought it'd be nice to stop exactly on the right day. I talked with my NP about it and everything. I, safely leveled down my doses up until the day of, and I've been getting my blood work checked and all that good stuff. It is now December, so it's been like 5-ish months, 4 or 5 months since I stopped. So I've started to see a couple changes. I figured now would be a good time to do an update. Just kind of go into all that. I've talked before about how, I don't really get any of the mental changes from testosterone, so stopping it has not changed anything mentally for me. And I kind of knew that this would be the case because when I had to have top surgery, I had to go off of testosterone for a while. I want to say at least 2 weeks, but it might have been like a month. I think it was more like a month or two. Anyway, I had to go off for a while for after I had top surgery, and I didn't have any mental changes. And I know other people who had top surgery at the same time as I had experienced mental changes. So I knew that going off this time it would be, nothing different. Got my little list of things to talk about. I haven't made an update since 4.5 years taking testosterone because I am bad at making videos. But I mean, there's not really too much to update on. I've taken testosterone for a full 8 years now at this point. Body hair has been coming in a little bit more. Facial hair a little bit more, a little bit faster, growing, still like incredibly slow, much slower than like than a lot of cis people, and that just comes down to genetics. Yeah, I guess I'll do the facial hair stuff now. I, again, haven't shaved in a while so that you can see what's been coming in. You can kind of see. It's just kind of more in the same spots as the 4.5 year video. If I can get closer, you can see it's kind of under the chin. There's some stuff here. It's not really. I do have like kind of little sideburns going on now. That's a new thing. They don't quite connect where the hair on my head and the hair on my face grow, so I have to like kind of be sneaky about that. I'm always wearing a mask these days still, so you can't actually see where it doesn't connect because that's exactly where the strings go, which is convenient. And looking straight on, I think the sideburn situation looks all right. It's not until you look sideways that you can kind of see. And this one looks pretty good. This one you can kind of see it doesn't connect quite as well. And just the way the lighting is right now, it's kind of easier to see. There we go. They're both the same darkness. It's just the sides and the shade and the sides getting the light of the room. Maybe I'll just kind of do this. I still get it growing down to about here and little hairs over here. I got a couple hairs here and there. Same thing on this side. Grows down to about here. And like this wide. Random hairs over here. There's a little bit here you can't really see in the video. I got like some random hairs that go down to about here. But like the most hair, as usual, is just kind of like, this area. And it had started growing in a little bit faster, and I definitely noticed it slow down when I stopped taking testosterone, which is expected. I also had like a couple like fall out of my face just like from washing my face, and like, hair falls out regularly as it grows all over your body, but I just hadn't really noticed it on my face before. And then, of course, I stopped testosterone. I started to notice it like within a couple months after stopping. I was like, oh, there's like, I don't know, 5 to 10 hairs that came off my chin. Not a big deal, but just, stuff that you notice. I had mentioned wanting to stand testosterone until my chest evened out a little bit. It is a little better. It's still a little patchy, but it looks like a little bit more cohesive now. Like everything's like kind of attached to each other. It's still asymmetrical, which is kind of interesting, but I still got the hair coming in on the shoulder blades and all those fun places. So, you know, a little gift to me, I guess. Um, Acne is something that I didn't expect when I started testosterone. I had never had acne with like the first go around with puberty, which I always knew I was fortunate for. So I assumed that I would never get it on testosterone. Joke's on me. I've had, pretty steady acne on my face and body the whole 8 years that I've been on testosterone. Um, you can see I got some going on my face right now, and like just the dumbest of spots, like right next to my eyeball right now, and one of my eyebrow. So that's awesome. I still get it like mostly on my shoulder blades. Occasionally, I'll get like one or two on my chest, which is annoying. And I did notice when I had first stopped testosterone, the acne kind of like hiked up, which is to be expected when there's a hormone change in your system. So, you know, now it's back down to what it was when I was taking testosterone, which is like still more than I want. I'm hoping that as time passes, like the acne will eventually like maybe go away. That'd be super nice. Nobody wants to have acne as an adult, but here I am. Let's see. I know I had been recently post hysterectomy in my last video. Um, Nothing to report on that. Everything ended up working out well. That's the reason that for me, felt like I could stop testosterone because I didn't want to deal with the menstrual cycle starting again, so I don't have to deal with that anymore, which, thank goodness, you know, mentally could not handle that. I will say, when I stopped, my NP had told me that I might get some cramping, like with the monthly cycle. I was like, sure, okay, that sounds like a lie. I have no uterus. What is cramping? Um, but it seemed like that has been happening, and it's a shitty thing to re-experience. And it definitely gives me more sympathy for my trans feminine siblings. I've heard a lot of them talk about like getting menstrual cramps and stuff, on a monthly cycle, which was always confusing to me. Like, obviously, I always believe what they say and what they're telling me. I just had a hard time conceptualizing it because, like, without a uterus, like, what is it that is cramping? And here I am with no uterus getting cramps, every month. So, you live and you learn. Uh, Worldview is expanding. Um, so, with the chest hair filling out, it seemed like a good time to stop. And I want to kind of get into something that I didn't. I haven't talked about this out loud with anybody, and I kind of don't like admitting it, but I think I've discussed it in passing in past videos. Um, so my hair looks different right now. Usually I've got like the short hair, and it's getting long on the side. I need a haircut, but I do have a mohawk at the moment. It's shaved on both sides, and about, wow, that's a great look. You can see it's shaved on both sides. And it's been almost 2 years ago now that I shaved the sides and stopped cutting the top. So this is just like 2 years worth of growth. It goes down to like the bottom of my shoulder blades, like almost about nipple-ish height. I don't really know. That's an estimation. And I like bleached it. The ends are purple. You can't really tell in this video. And it's been kind of fun. I was looking back on old pictures today, and exactly 10 years ago was when I had my first mohawk, so that's kind of fun. But yeah, so it's been kind of fun growing it out. I haven't cut the tops or, like the whole middle portion for the past 2 years, so it went from like this length to this length. And I definitely noticed it grew faster at first, because it always feels like people with short hair have their hair that grow the fastest. I don't know why that is, and it definitely slowed down as it got longer, so that's like a true thing, I guess. And I've been enjoying it. I like the mohawk. It's kind of, I always knew it was going to be my last hurrah with long hair. And so it's been nice. It's been a little bittersweet. Just genetics-wise, I'm not going to have a lot of hair when I get older. It's just going to be like super thin, and I'll probably have like a bald spot on the crown of my head. And I know this, like up here, I know it's going to happen, but it's still kind of, and I've accepted that, but that doesn't mean it's kind of like easy to know that. And the reason that I decided to stop testosterone now when I did is that I can finally start to see my hair like starting to thin out, like on the crown of my head. And it's kind of shitty, and I don't like it, and I don't like thinking about it. And I was like, I can put my head in the sand, like, those ostrich memes, and just not think about it and just let it keep getting worse. Or I can stop testosterone now and maybe slow down the process of the hair loss for a little bit. I mean, regardless of whether or not I'm on testosterone, I will end up losing my hair. It's just the way it's going to be. But I know that testosterone is also speeding up the process. So that is, to be quite frank, the main reason I've decided to stop it now. Like, I could keep going and try and have my chest hair be less patchy. I don't think it'll ever be less patchy, but it was, my facial hair is finally starting to grow in a little bit faster and stuff like that. But, the fact of the matter is my hair is starting to thin out, and I've been wearing a lot more hats, and part of it is my summer job. Wearing a baseball hat is just practical. And, I don't like getting my ears cold, so I'll wear a beanie in the winter. But my winter job this year has changed policy, so I'm no longer allowed to wear a hat. And I have to, I'll just like tie my hair up. And I don't like taking the time to do that going into work, And I can't not do it because I don't want people to see that my hair is thinning in that spot, and I have to be careful when I'm brushing it that I don't like expose the thinning area. It's not like, it's making it sound like I'm doing like a comb over or some shit. I'm really just like brushing it and then hairspraying it in spot in place so it stays still. And it's very much like, I had long hair as a kid. I always had long hair, and I would like part it down the side, either one way or the other. I would switch it up because that's what I felt like doing. And it's definitely like thinned out, like where the part used to be, like particularly in the back. And like if I do this, you can, like, I don't even need to brush it. You can see like where I used to part my hair. And I'll probably do it on the side too, but whatever. So anyway, back where it used to part, kind of like this part of my head is getting thin. So I just like have to be careful when I'm putting it up because I don't really want people seeing that. And so now that I can't wear a hat at work anymore, it's like I just have to put in effort, and it's making me think about it more, and I don't like it, So, and then I'm making this video now as kind of like my last little video testament to me having long hair. I'm never gonna have long hair again. This is it. Because I'm down to like here. Um, Later this week, I'm going to be cutting it back to my regular haircut, and maybe a little bit different. I used to have it rounded out about in the back. I might make it a little bit pointier, but it's just going to be like the typical undercut that I had for a couple of years. And I'm sad to be losing my long hair because I like the gender fuckery that I feel with it. You know, and I know that I'm never going to have it like that again. And I'm also like a little nervous that I'm going to cut it short and it's going to make my thinning hair even more apparent and I'll have made a huge mistake. So, things to talk about with my therapist this week. I'm sure she'll love that. But yeah, that's the real reason I'm stopping testosterone when I am. And I don't plan on ever going back on it. Even when even when I do lose my hair, and I could theoretically go back on it, I don't plan on it. I've never planned on keeping on it. I'm still living in the United States at the moment, and healthcare is for trans people has just been rough these past couple of years. It's varying from state to state, which is severely limiting where I'm able to move to, per usual. And there's been periods of time, I tend to move around a lot, and there's been periods of time where like I haven't had access to testosterone for, a period when I move to a new place because I don't have health insurance. I need to find a doctor who will see me. I need to find a doctor who will prescribe hormones. Even if you've been on it for several years, you can't just go to the pharmacy and have them fill it out for you. They need a doctor that you've seen recently to send over a prescription when you get to a new place, and it's a pain in the ass to have to deal with this all the time. Um, in the last video, I had just stopped taking Testopel and was hoping I could get back on it. I was never able to get back on it again. I've been doing shots, and I've gotten tired of doing a shot once a week for 8 years, minus a couple year period where I was on Testopel. And, I'm ready. It's time. And I also want to be clear that this is not like a detransition video. Like, nothing about my gender is changing because my hormone regimen is changing. This was always the way it was going to be. It's not changing my gender identity or my gender expression by any means. I'll try and do another update video when I hit 1 year after not taking hormones. We can see that I'm not good at keeping up to the date on that. But yeah, that's what I had to say. I guess on that note, I will show you my cool gender shirt that I got from Mix Morgan's shop online, and I'll be out of here. Biology was never binary.